Boom. That's right. Boom, we're here. I want to rock. Turn that down a little bit, turn that up a little bit. I think we're ready to shake, rattle, and roll. Today's Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. This year of our Lord, Jesus Christ. You know what? Stay right there, people. Stay right there. I have to get my prayer book ready. That's the advantage of doing your own podcast. Well, maybe it's not an advantage. Get up, there's nobody else here but me. Better have everything ready when you sit down. Put it that way. All right, let's get ready to ramp. Let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Clay Morris here. Sports Wednesday, the Amazing Grace Sports Network. And we begin, as usual, with prayers. Prayers for spiritual victory. Yeah, that's it. Prayers for spiritual victory. Let's get right into it. We are on in our Tony Evans Prayers for Spiritual Victory. We are on Chapter 2, Maintaining a Spiritual Perspective. And speaking of that, we are on the Shoes of Peace. So let's get to the Shoes of Peace. Lord, peace is often hard to come by, especially in the middle of a battle, especially when you try to battle from watching YouTube short videos to getting your work done. Yes. When I see chaos all around me, I get afraid. I get concerned about the future, or if my relationship, my finances, my health, anything seems to be crumbling or burning, I start to worry. But you have given me a kingdom of truth in your word to apply to times like this. I don't have to create my own internal peace. I don't have to try to force it when I'm feeling shaken. All I have to do is set my mind to the above, to the heavenly places. Set it on you in your power, your provision, your purpose, and your protection. When I do, you have promised me peace. A peace enters my thoughts. My mind will then guide my feet, and I will walk in that peace that comes with knowing you got me. In Christ's name, amen. Yes. I have a Bible study that I every other week. And I'm going to tell you, if you had have asked me 30 years ago, if you had even told me, like if there was a time traveler that came from now to 30 years ago and said to me, you're going to be in a Bible study, I probably would have slapped that person. Yeah, that probably shows the state of mind that I was in at the time. And yeah, there was no way. But I look forward to my Bible study every other week. And you know what? I'm going to put it up on the page, on the Amazing Grace Sports Network page. We do have a website. We have a website. And if you look up AG Sportsnet, you will see our website. We have a website in addition to a YouTube channel. And I'm going to put it there whenever we have our little Zoom meetings. And feel free to pop in. It would be very beneficial for you as well as advantageous going forward in your life to attend Bible study because you are in the spiritual warfare, whether you know it or not. Everybody is. We just don't like to admit it. It's hard to see. You can't see it. But without further ado, let us get on to sports, okay? Because that's what we're here for in a manner of speaking. We're here for sports and the spirituality of it. As we say in the in how we like to describe the Amazing Grace Sports Network, we're here for the spirituality, as I get the camera correct there, unity, the passion, spirituality, and unity of sports. And we're just going to have to settle it at that. Just leave it right there. Okay. What do we got here? We have birthdays. No, we're not going to play that. No, we're not going to play that. We're gonna move on to yeah, birthdays.
Happy birthday, all. Happy birthday, all.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah, isn't that some
Happy
beautiful,
birthday
those beautiful
to
melodic
you.
voices there?
Happy
Have you ever heard
birthday,
anything so
all you
good?
people.
All you
Happy
happy
birthday
birthday to
to you.
First up on
you.
birthdays, you let's see, what do we have here? And we have I don't even have the guy that I really want up here right now. So I'm gonna have to go back and get him because he is hiding somewhere right there. We're gonna get him right up here now. And he's a patriot. If that's any surprise to anybody, that there's a patriot that I'm going to talk about. And his name is one James White. Yes, James Calvin White was born on February 3rd, what year was he born? 1992. And White was selected by the Patriots in the fourth round of the 2014 draft. That's pretty good because they would go to the Super Bowl that year. Okay. White won 3 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots and appeared in 4. He set the Super Bowl records for receptions and points, and this guy was just in there all the time. I'm going to tell you something about he was one of those dog dog players, which means he was gritty. James White was one of the grittiest players that I've ever seen. To be not a big guy. I doubt that he would. I think he was about maybe 5'10", 5'11". He wasn't a big guy. He didn't weigh a lot. Maybe he probably weighed 200 pounds at the most. But this guy, I tell you, when you needed something to happen, he always got it done. And that's what I remember most about James White. He could run, he could catch it, he could do everything you want him to do. He was an all-purpose back that in the mode of Kevin Falk. When they had Kevin Falk, and Kevin Falk would catch balls out of the backfield, or he would run wide receiver routes. He would run the ball, rush the ball, and gain yardage. There was nothing that Kevin Falk wouldn't do, and there was nothing that James White wouldn't do or couldn't do. He set the Super Bowl record for most receptions and points scored in the Super Bowl, and he did in the Super Bowl 51 against the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, holding the most receptions for in the playoff game, and he was instrumental in that playoff win over the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51. He scored 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, setting a record for points in the Super Bowl with 20. Tom Brady was selected, of course, as the Super Bowl MVP for that 28-3 comeback over the Atlanta Falcons and Matty Ice and gosh, who was that all-world receiver that they had? Jeez. Well, it just escapes my lip because I was talking about him just the other day. Made a lot of catches, an impossible catch in the Super Bowl, but James White, Tom Brady overcame them in the 28-3 deficit they were in, and they won that game. And Brady, even though he won the MVP, he gave away the MVP truck. That's right. They give him a truck because he won. And Brady said, "You know what? You know who really deserves this truck? One, Mr. James White." And he really did. He did. He was the guy who there's so many people that the Patriots have that contribute. Um, Edelman made a heck of a catch in that game. It's still reviewed today. But James White, he was instrumental, very instrumental in winning that game, and hats off to him. Happy birthday. But actually, let me just make sure. Um, it's February 3rd. James White's birthday was February 3rd. So on February 3rd, 1992, James Calvin White was born. And it's birthday week. We do the whole week here. So it being the 3rd was just 2 days ago. Happy birthday, James Calvin White. How you like that? Okay. We take care of our own here. And we remember you. The, the Patriots, The Patriots, the Patriots. I think they're coming back. Until then, we're just going to hold on to those memories of the Patriots when they were that team, when they were the Kansas City Chiefs of the National Football League, when everybody feared them and hated them and made and swore that they cheated. They cheated. They cheated. They called us. They called the Patriots cheaters, the same way they called the Kansas City Chiefs cheaters. The rest are cheating for them. Goodell is cheating for them. They told Tom Brady he got the benefit of what is it? Lax rules, more protection for quarterbacks. Tom Brady ran the tape back. He says, "I don't know what these guys are talking about." And when we look at the hits that Tom Brady took, well, maybe Patrick Mahomes is the beneficiary of it now, but Tom Brady was not the beneficiary. He got hammered, and that's the way it was back then. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we remember how Tom Brady got his job. It's because Drew Bledsoe almost lost his life. He got hit so hard. So I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are cheaters, no more than I think the Patriots were cheaters. I think it's called hate. And guys, do not hate. Do not emulate. When you see something great, don't hate it. Don't get jealous. That's your blueprint for success. They're showing you the way to become great, good, successful at something. Take a look at it, study it, execute it. They're giving you the blueprint. If they can do it, you can do it. So stop hating and start emulating. And with that, we move on to our second birthday. One, Jungle Jim Loskatov. And ooh, yeah, Wayback Machine. Yeah, we're bringing it out. We're bringing it out, the Wayback Machine for Jim or James Loskatov Jr. James Loskatov was born on February 4th, 1930, in San Diego, California. Now, in case you're wondering, and many of you don't know, Loskatov was a professional basketball player for the world champion Boston Celtics, as you can see there in that picture of the National Basketball Association. Very integral part, too. In 9 NBA seasons from 1955 to 1964, Loskatov was a member of 7 championships. That's right, count them. Boston Celtics, 7. He played small forward and was sometimes described, well, quite unflatteringly, as a hatchet man, meaning that he was a big, strong, rough, tough guy who uh, would shed people off. Bill Russell. Yes, Bill Russell was a great player, but he wasn't a big, strong heavyweight like Jim Loskatov was. And when things got a little bit, hairy out there in the court, well, Loskatov had to, get people off Bill Russell, and he did by any means necessary. Thank you, Jungle Jim Loskatov. Well, thank you, James Loskatov Jr. for being there. Um, Probably couldn't have won. And in the first championship that they won in 1956-57, Loskatov sank the 2 free throws in overtime to win the game for the Celtics. Happy birthday, wherever you are. We know it's a posthumous birthday to Mr. Loskatov, but we remember you. We remember you as a Boston Celtics. Happy birthday. And moving on from him, we have somebody else. I'm going to tell you, today, which is the 5th, Loskatov was born on the 4th. Today is the 5th. I've never seen so many birthdays of famous sports figures, but we can only do one a day. So guess who got this one? One Mr. Henry Louis Aaron. Yes, Henry Louis Aaron. Henry Louis Aaron, a.k.a. Hammer and Hank Aaron, was born February 5th, 1934, in Mobile, Alabama. Aaron played 23 seasons in Major League Baseball and is considered one of the greatest baseball players in history. At the time of his retirement, Aaron held most of the game's key career power hitting records. He broke the long-standing MLB record for career home runs that was held by Babe Ruth at 714. Aaron surpassed him, and he remained the career leader in home runs for 33 years until Barry Bonds surpassed his famous total of 755 in 2007. Now, Hank Aaron was a 25-time All-Star, three-time Gold Glove Award winner, a two-time National League batting champion, a four-time National League home run leader, a four-time National League RBI leader, a World Series champion, and a National League MVP. He filled up the stats. He was a pretty good hitter. Now, the thing that I found out as I was doing research on Hank Aaron was how low key he was and how steady he was. At that time, Willie Mays, Duke Snyder, Mickey Mantle, and I'm going to say more players were uh, featured or more well liked or had bigger seasons. They've had, home runs, 50 home runs, close to 60 home runs. I mean, these guys were belting them out. And Henry Aaron was always steady. He hit 30 home runs, for so many seasons, and always hit over 20. He didn't have the highs and lows of many of these other guys, and for that reason, it's almost like the tortoise and the hare. He caught Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, Duke Snyder, uh, Harmon Killebrew, and all the big hitters of the 50s. He caught them and he surpassed them because he was steady. He maintained uh, a pace, if you will, of steadily hitting home runs at a clip. Nothing fantastic, nothing in the 50s. I don't think he ever hit 50 home runs, but 30s and 40s, year after year, year after year, and surpassed Babe Ruth. And I think that's ironic. I think it really is ironic that this guy, who was born February 5th, surpassed a guy who was born on February 6th. That's right. Happy birthday to Babe Ruth, who was born February 6th, 1898. Now, Babe Ruth needs no introduction. He set all of the records that everyone is currently breaking. The records are meant to be broken because a record sticks out in front of somebody as an achievement. And if they can reach that achievement or surpass it, then they feel like they've accomplished what they set out to do. So records are more like markers for people. Without Babe Ruth hitting 714 home runs, and uh, Henry Aaron wouldn't have had anything to go after. So this guy here, with the crown on his head, and one time he was the guy in Major League Baseball. George Herman Ruth, born February 6th, 1898 in Baltimore, Maryland, also known as the Bambino and the Sultan of SWAT. Ruth began his Major League Baseball career as a star left-hander for the Boston Red Sox. And although he won 23 games in the season as a pitcher and was a member of 3 World Series championship teams with the Boston Red Sox, he wanted to play every day. And with regular playing time in 1919, he broke the Major League Baseball single season record of home runs in 1919 with 29. That's right. Nobody had ever hit 29 home runs in a season before. Now, remember, most of you don't know this, but there was an era called the dead ball era. And Ruth began his career during the dead ball era, but he could still hit home runs, which really made him good. I mean, because I think after at 1920, 21, the ball was wound tighter, and it was called the live ball era as opposed to the dead ball era. And then the balls really started jumping out of the park. So Ruth set a season home run record in 1919 and 20 with 29. And he did so good. He did so well that his owner, the Red Sox owner, Harry Frazee, was so happy with him. He thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. He was so enamored by Babe Ruth that he sold him to the Yankees right after that season. And the Red Sox, who were perennial champions at the time, would not win another World Series for 86 years. And yes, everybody, during that time, when they didn't win a World Series for 86 years. It was called the curse of the Bambino. And yes, it was real. It was real because it seemed that no matter what the Red Sox did, they were never going to win the championship. In fact, when they won in 2004, they had to beat the Yankees to do it. And they were down 3 games to nil, 0, 0, 3 games to none. They were down, which means they should have lost. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They should have lost that series. But somehow, there was a new Sultan of SWAT, the most clutch hitter that the baseball world has ever known. Well, actually, there's two, but this guy is him and Ichiro. His name was David Ortiz. David Ortiz became the new Sultan of SWAT for the Boston Red Sox and for the Boston team. And with David Ortiz, the curse of the Bambino was erased. They came back from 3 games to nil, and I was going to say they swept. They swept the Yankees. We could say that because they won 4 in a row, but it really wasn't a sweep. They won 4-3, and the Yankees have never been the same. But let's get back to Babe Ruth. Harry Frazee was so enamored with Babe Ruth that he sold him to the Yankees. Okay. And in the 15 years with the Yankees, Ruth helped the team win 7 American League pennants and 4 World Series championships. Ruth made home runs part of the everyday American lexicon, and baseball became the most popular sport in America. Babe Ruth was not just a home run hitter. His career average is .342. He was a 7-time World Series champion, 12 times American League home run leader, 5 times American League RBI leader. He was an American League MVP and an American League batting champion and an American League pitching ERA leader. You talk about filling up the stats. This guy could fill up the stats. He could fill up the books. He could fill up the parks because when Babe Ruth was hitting home runs and baseball became the most popular sport in the world or the most popular sport in America, he was filling up the parks. Okay. They call Babe Ruth the man who built Yankee Stadium, or they call Yankee Stadium the house that Ruth built. That 3-tier all the way up there to the top. It looks like a crown. Yeah, Yankee Stadium, which became the crown of Major League Baseball. Ruth built that. Ruth built that because he was packing them in. And nobody ever packed them in the way Babe Ruth did. He was well liked. We have some guys who were really good hitters, like Barry Bonds, were never very well liked. Was very surly. Always had an attitude. Don't ask me why. And he felt entitled. Then he grew up the son of a baseball star, and for some reason, always had a chip on the shoulder, and never could get the acclaim that he probably deserved. But then again, in another way, he didn't deserve because he felt like the world owed him something, and the world owes you nothing. Babe Ruth grew up in Baltimore. They called it Pigstown, the part of Baltimore where he grew up in. And he was grateful for everything that he got. Believe me, nothing was given to him. He had to earn it, as we all do. And with that, that's it for birthdays. Let's just go through them one more time here. James White, February 3rd. Then we have Jim Loskatoff, February 4th. Hank Aaron, February 5th. And Babe Ruth, February 6th. It's amazing that Ruth and Aaron were born one day apart. But I guess it's something it might be something in those zodiac signs. I tend to doubt it, but I don't make the world go around. I don't know. Anything's possible. Not everything's possible. You know what? Let me just get out of that one by saying the Boston Celtics defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers last night in Cleveland, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Cleveland has been running away with most of the wins this year. They lead the Eastern Conference, 40 wins, 10 losses, and the Celtics, well, they were behind that. But these were the two best teams in the East. The Celtics uh, had 35 wins. Okay, Cleveland had 40 wins and 9 losses. Now they have 10. The Celtics had 35 wins with 15 losses. Well, they changed that. They changed the trajectory last night. They beat Cleveland in Cleveland, 112 to 105, and at a couple of times they were up by 20. So, as I predicted, okay, if the Celtics are healthy, Cleveland's going down. Okay, I think uh, maybe the Knicks would give uh, the Celtics a tougher time in the playoffs, if in the Eastern Conference. If they meet, um, the Knicks might give them a tougher run, um, because they have a big guy who can shoot from the outside, Carl Anthony Towns. And as of right now, Cleveland doesn't. If they want to get five guys in there who can shoot a three ball, they have to go small. And when they go small, Joe Mazzulla, who could be coach of the year, I doubt they'll give it to him because, well, the Celtics are just so loved all around the league as far as the fans go, but not by the NBA. Okay. The NBA still has nightmares about the Celtics from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, 2000s, and now, yeah, 2020. So the NBA, we started to wonder if it's really on the level for most things. Don't like the Celtics, but whenever the Celtics travel, uh, Atlanta, Houston, Cleveland, 30% of the fans are Celtics fans. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding you. Go. Anybody who attends NBA games will tell you this. That when the Celtics come into town, okay, expect it to be at least 30% Celtics fans in the stadium. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Celtics fans are carrying the NBA. It ain't the Laker fans because they're too cheap to go to a game. Yeah, most of them are just watchers. That's right. They're just watchers and complainers and whiners. Lakers fans are too cheap. Once they leave LA, they do not travel well. I'll tell you what team that does. Golden State. Golden State travels well. And the Celtics. And, well, not the Bulls anymore. Because the Bulls, well, they've been in the doldrums since Michael Jordan retired. So they're just terrible. And Jerry Reinsdorf does not care as long as he makes a buck out of the Bulls, and people in Chicago goes to see them, and he gets a fat NBA contract. He could care less what happened. He could care less if they win. If they win, great. If they don't win, at least he's making a profit, which is what he cares about, making a profit in Chicago. So all of you people who keep supporting the Bulls team, forget about it. They're never going to win. Okay, they got lucky with Michael Jordan. And they got lucky because Michael Jordan can carry everybody. Unlike Kobe, he didn't need a Shaq. Okay. Unlike LeBron, he doesn't need half the NBA to play on this team in order to win. You put a couple of hard playing guys, Luke Longleys, okay, Paxsons, BJ Armstrongs, and you win with Michael Jordan. But that's never going to happen against Chicago. So save your money. Stop going to stupid Chicago games. Stop supporting the Bulls. Reinsdorf doesn't give a darn if that team wins. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, the Celtics. The Celtics carry the lead because the Celtics, they travel well. In Chicago, when they go there, 30% of the fans will be Boston fans. If they go to the Clippers, 30% of the fans, and when they're playing the Clippers, 30. If they go to Atlanta, it's more like 50%. And I kid you not kidding you. New York, 20 to 30. There's so many New Yorkers. They just buy up the tickets so we can't get them. So the Celtics can't get them. But other than that, the Celtics travel well. And what I was saying was that The Celtics are back. Okay, they put the league on notice that they're rounded into form. They're getting into shape. It's a different year. Derek White, Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's another year older, but we have Peyton Pritchard coming in and doing major work. So there's a transition that's happening even as they talk. They haven't changed their core. They still got the same main five. Porzingis is back, but there's a transition. There was Loskatov, and Loskatov gave way to Heinsohn. Heinsohn gave way to Satch Sanders. So there's always a transition in basketball. There's always going to be players coming and going via retirement or injury. And so it goes. Right now, the Celtics are rounded into form, and the rest of the league has been put on notice. I really like the Orlando Magic. We'll see what happens with them. I don't think they can beat the Celtics. I'm glad they can't beat the Celtics, but they're a very interesting team. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Celtics matched up against them in the finals. We'll see what happens. Let's go through some of these box scores. Jason Tatum. Let's go with some of the stats here. Jason Tatum led the Celtics with 22 points. Now, what you have to understand is that the Celtics play when they really play good. It's like this. Tatum had 22 points. Porzingis had 19. Drew Holiday had 6. Derek White had 20. Jalen Brown had 16. Then you had Al Horford, who came off the bench with 13. Peyton Pritchard had 9. Luke Cornett had 4. And Sam Hauser had 3. Guys, this is the way they like to play. They like to spread it around. It's not the team's not built unless they're down by 25 like they were the other night against the Philadelphia 76ers for one guy to take over like Jason Tatum had to that night. But when they're rocking on all cylinders, they got guys who can score at every position. Even Drew Holiday. If Drew Holiday made up his mind to score guys, he could get in between 10 to 20 points every night. But he's the defensive guy. He's the defensive glue. He locks down the other defender. He plays a hard-nosed defense, and he hits the corner three. So Tatum is leading the charge there. And, Donovan Mitchell, of course, was unstoppable for the Cleveland Cavaliers. 31 points. Darius Garland, who is overhyped, but had 25. Jared Allen, who is on the back nine, had 17. Evan Mobley, for some reason, they say he's an all-star. Evan Mobley, all-star, with 7 points. Really? He only had 2 personal fouls, so it wasn't that he was in danger of fouling out the game. Max Strus, who only scored 2 points, did foul out the game. He had 6 personal fouls because he was trying to guard Jalen Brown, and Jalen Brown was bodying him all over the place. It was like he was body slamming him. It's like a wrestling match, and Strus was always hitting the ground and getting pinned. Well, he got pinned 6 times, and he was out the game. We'll move on from the Celtics to the other team with a storied franchise in the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers. This week, or last week, over the weekend, is what happened? What is it? Saturday night, Sunday morning. Luka Doncic was traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, it's been a lot of speculation. Laker fan bots are, of course, excited. They're getting Luka Doncic, a top 5 player, but most of them don't know gee willikers about basketball, really. They've just been brought up on LeBron James, and they've been, at that milk bottle for a while, so they've never graduated to having teeth and have to explore what real basketball is all about because the NBA has tilted the game in order for LeBron to be a superstar and remain a superstar, running over people, never playing any defense, glorifying them at every turn. Even when he attends Diddy parties and puts his son out there, it's just a spectacle to make him look good. Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers, and there's a variety of reasons that people are wondering why. They're saying that LeBron was behind the trade. Well, one thing's for sure, he had to know about it. It's Clutch Sports, right? And Anthony Davis is Clutch Sports also. So somebody knew something. They're saying that he wants to play with Luka Doncic. Hmm. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. Or maybe he realizes that the season is done for the Lakers. Without Anthony Davis, they have no inside presence. They have no shot blocking presence. They have no rebounding presence. You don't expect LeBron to get down there and rebound. No. He's hanging out at the foul line waiting to shoot down the court for somebody to throw him the ball. Maybe he realizes the season's over and he's just padding the stats because they're not going to win without a big guy who can shoot, rebound, block shots. Luka Doncic, why was he traded? What made what why did LeBron, we could say it this way. Why did LeBron want to get rid of Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic? Because he had to give the final go. If he didn't orchestrate it, he had to give the final say. He can't say he didn't know. Of course he did, but that's LeBron. He's never going to tell the truth about anything. He specializes in duplicity. That's what LeBron does. But why did he give the okay for AD to be shipped out of town? I really don't know. I really can't tell you. Um, he's the guy who brought D'Angelo Russell in. Everyone knew that was a bad fit because he has to have the ball. He brought Russell Westbrook in. Everyone knew that was a bad fit, except for LeBron fans. Now, in all these cases, the only people who don't know that this is a bad fit are LeBron fans. They're oblivious to the fact that LeBron has to have the ball in his hands at all times. So that negates Russell Westbrook or D'Angelo Russell, or in this case, Luka Doncic. Because Luka Doncic has to have the ball in his hands, like D'Angelo Russell had to have the ball in his, like Russell Westbrook had to have the ball in his hands. Like, well, you get the picture. Okay. So I don't see this working out very well as far as the team winning. Uh, maybe stat wise, he might be able to pad his stats more. But it's gonna be a terrible defensive team because LeBron's not playing defense, and Luka Doncic can't play defense. So LeBron is not as smart as everybody thinks he is. A lot of these whiffs and failures have been right on LeBron. His thinking. That's right. His thinking. This is not going to go well. But it has happened. But there's a positive to this. I heard there was a positive. Bronny James hit his first three-point shot of the NBA season. It is now February, and he finally hit a three-point shot after so many tries. So they're still happy in Lakerland, and that's all that matters. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. I really can't dissect this LA trade. I know the Celtics are on their way. The Super Bowl is this Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, Philadelphia Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And who's going to win? Hmm. Who's going to win? Well, there's one thing I learned. When the Patriots were good, and I mean good, you know, for those 2 decades that they were good, you don't bet against Tom Brady. And right now, we're in that position because the Super Bowls that Tom Brady lost took some superhuman, Herculean efforts by the other team and all kinds of good luck to happen, like a David Tyree catch off the helmet. Um, the Nick Foles, Saint Nick, one of the greatest quarterback in games I've ever seen occur for a guy who was kind of a journeyman, unheralded guy. Nick Foles pulled off one of the most unbelievable World Series uh, quarterback jobs. That had to happen, and you know, uh, also Bill Belichick not playing Malcolm Butler. Yeah, that had to happen. So you don't bet against Tom Brady in most circumstances because it's going to take an awful lot to beat him in big games. Well, you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. And with that being said, I'm thinking yes. I'm thinking yes. That well, Mahomes and Brady. Since Brady ain't playing, you might want to pick Mahomes. There they are. Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. See you on Saturday. You know the number, ladies and gentlemen. You can call us. You can call me on Saturdays. Yep, you can call in on Saturdays. 844-249-5247. 844-249-5247. Or you can go on the chat. You can talk to us through chat on WEZE Radio. You can get us on Facebook. You can get us on YouTube. You can leave comments on our website. Just leave comments. Just tell me what you think. If you disagree or if you agree with me and like my take on things and how I see things and, well, my experience in life, bringing it to bear, leave a comment. That's what that's all about. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get out of your hair. Let you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday because it is bright and sunny here. And the world is turning. It is going crazy. Bright blue skies. We have a sunny, a butter sun. Yeah, right out there that's just flowing. It may be 19 degrees in our Boston studios, but don't worry about it. We're staying warm. We have central heat. It's been my pleasure. It's been my pleasure to be here. I can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait for Saturday to come. And I promise you, I will be more prepared Saturday to bring you more statistics and facts than I was today. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, pray for all the things you want in life. Pray for the things you need in life. And pray to show gratitude for the things you have received. You live in America. Those of us who live in America live in the greatest country in the world. And everybody wants to be here. And you know what, guys? I don't blame you for wanting to be here. Okay? And please just get here legally and get here safely. With that, I love you. Take care, everybody. And have a very good rest of the day.